Last time on The Incorrigible Party.
Leading Shakara and Horik through the Darkling tunnels, Shaft covers their tracks with his Ranger magic, making it difficult for the Paladin tracker to pursue them. Once above ground, Shaft splits up with the others, leaving them to find shelter, as he navigates the city to Keples in search of a lead box to contain the second Eye of Dentar.
Oh, what was that you wanted? More adventure? You got it.
Shaft, as you depart Shakara and Horik, you both kind of turn off in different directions, and you make your way towards the noise, the crowds. So you have a couple of different options of how you kind of want to navigate this. As you get a little closer, right? I mean, clearly the sounds are just echoing down these empty streets, right? Of music and the smells of the food and the just people clearly like this is a celebration, right? But these roving crowds, they prove to be a little difficult to avoid without backtracking through the abandoned parts of the city and kind of circumnavigating them, because as you approach, and if you were to kind of stop it and take in your position for a second, even when you're not moving, they are clearly approaching you. Like these masses of people are moving towards you, the opposite direction of which you are moving. Just the noises of them get louder. You can you maybe get close enough to pick up bits and pieces of conversation about people just talking back and forth. So I suppose you have a couple of options. You can do this backtrack if you'd like to completely avoid the crowds. And again, if you recall, there are paladins within those crowds. You can kind of sparsely pick them out through the masses amounts of people. Like think like block party amount of people. Like it looks like there's hundreds of people out here flooding back into the abandoned sections of the city now that the blue light is gone. And again, through the conversations you're picking up, that's clearly like what this celebration was spurred by, right? Lights down, all right, let's celebrate, let's get back into our city, like that kind of thing, right? It's almost like there's
Mardi Gras, there's
right?
beads all around.
Oh yeah, there's topless people everywhere throwing beads around.
Oh yeah, okay.
So you can do a backtrack to try to completely avoid, which judging by the size of the crowd and the direction they're moving, that's going to add about an hour to your trip to see Caplet. You can obviously attempt to move within the crowd if you want. And then thirdly, potentially you could attempt to hide somewhere yourself and wait out this crowd, perhaps. Obviously, you don't really know how long that might take before it's clear for you to slink out and, more sparsely populated as the laggers kind of catch up to the rest of the group, right, moving past you.
So as a halfling, as a small fella, would it take a lot longer to sort of weave my way through this crowd, sort of avoiding any paladins along the way or anybody that I might recognize? Do I sort of think this is going to take me a lot longer to try to go through this wave of people rather than to navigate myself back and around a different unoccupied area?
I believe with your you have a halfling ability that kind of just lets you move through, essentially through and
Bigger
under people's
people.
yeah. So I think you certainly would know that the quickest route would be to try to navigate through this crowd and avoiding the paladins. Obviously, that's going to be probably the more risky choice to make, but the fastest.
All right, so yeah, it's halfling nimbleness. You can move through a space with any creatures that is a size larger than you. So I don't know, what would you say? Most of Drukal is a torso bigger than me.
Yes, I would say that predominantly Drukal is made up of medium-sized creatures.
I think I'm just going to try to work my way through the crowd, being a little stealthy as I go and sort of keeping an eye out. My assumption is going to be that the guards from Samuel were probably given direct orders by Samuel, and the word's not necessarily out looking for me, so I'll take the risk.
All right, give me stealth then. I'm not sure that stealth is really the right one in the crowd. Is there anything else that you are doing to facilitate you kind of blending in?
I think what I'd probably do is go up into an alleyway, sort of let some things go by, look at the people, and then, head up to the next little block, like a staircase or something like that as people walk by, and then sort of jump over the staircase, pop over to the other side kind of thing. But as far as just trying not to be seen by the paladins, just sort of looking around, because they're all in the same garb, right? So if I see a little red cloak, I just sort of, duck down, wait till they pass by,
Okay.
kind of thing.
Okay, great. Then stealth it is then. And I believe you are under the effects of Pass Without Trace still as well.
So that's a 29.
Weaving through the crowds, like everybody here's got like a mug of something in their hand. They're almost kind of like bumping into each other like mosh pits style in a few places, right? As you're kind of weaving and ducking around some of the very intoxicated people in this street. And you do kind of duck, out of the crowd into this alley as a pair of paladins kind of walk by. You see though the few times that you do this as you're moving through this crowd, finally kind of getting to the tail end of the group, it's just kind of moved and away from you, right? As you and the group are kind of moving in opposite directions, so it aids you, right, getting through it a little faster than perhaps if they were just standing still. But the people, a few of the more drunk people, the more intoxicated people, kind of harassing the patrolling paladins, like not getting physical with them, but clearly verbal harassment, telling them to get out of their city, clearly voicing and vocalizing like disdain for their presence, especially after what has happened to their city, right? Being under the effects of the blue light, even though they evacuated, that's still like judging. If you think that everybody here in the streets is like residences of that part of the city, it's a huge number of people to have to cram into the other sections of the city too, right?
Mm-hmm. So as I'm listening, do I hear anybody saying anything? I mean, I'm sort of under the assumption it's because of the blue light and all that, but do I hear anything specific that they're yelling at the paladins about? Anything? Are they mentioning anything other than just get the hell out of here and anything like that?
It's pretty generalized. Definitely, though, you catch a few threats. Essentially threatening, like, if this blue light comes back, there's, like, we're rising up against you kind of thing. Like, most of them are kind of incoherent, especially from some of the people that are, like, really unsteady on their feet. To the paladins' credit, I suppose, they don't really engage with these comments all that much. They kind of just continue on their patrol, just excising themselves from the situation.
Is there a pretty large group of paladins, or is it just small little sections of them here and there, 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there? Are they pretty dominant in the city still?
Well, through this crowd, it seems like they're in pairs. But as you get further into the city, you kind of finally cross into Detmer's district, right? And the number of paladins in general seems to be back down to levels of kind of where when you first arrived in Drukhall looking for the amulet. The streets being like very sparsely populated by them. Clearly the surge in numbers that you kind of saw as the tower camp was being assembled have decreased fairly significantly due to the mobilization of, Samuel's forces into the mountains, to the new front line. It's kind of where the focus of the personnel needs to be, right? I mean, you and the rest of the party certainly know that. But it doesn't take you long kind of observing these patrols to recognize their movement patterns as an actual patrol. Usually, like you witness in the crowds, moving in pairs, moving up and down the streets in what seems to be kind of a loose grid. And once you recognize this, avoiding their patrols becomes like nearly trivial, especially under Pass Without Trace, leaving 0 tracks for them to possibly pick up on during their routes up and down the streets.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just continue on directly towards Kepley's as much as I possibly can.
About 20 or so minutes in, you hear a voice in your head. Shakara is messaging you through her eerie token.
Shaft, we went back a few streets. House number 2112. Near the end of the street.
Do I know about this locket or piece of hair that she gave me, this lock of hair? Does it only work one time? or do I know?
You know that it only works one way, and as far as you know, like after the message, the token persists physically in your hand.
All right, I'll make a note of that in my head. And do I sort of recognize the address from a street perspective, kind of thing, so I know where they are?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'll continue on.
A number of blocks from Kepler's, as that hour to navigate here is quickly approaching, right? So it's been a roughly 60-70 minutes since you left Shakara and Horik. But a number of blocks from Kepler's, the dark night is briefly illuminated, like high above you, as a bolt of fire kind of launches through the air. It looks like it originates somewhere like west of you, which would be towards in Lag's district. As the streak burns out in the sky, kind of like this dying echo, its fiery cry is responded to. Two lights spark up in response, again high into the air above the city. Oversized bullseye lanterns, kind of mounted to each side of an airship, flood the streets with light, kind of revealing the presence of the vessel high above you. They sweep past this shadowy alley that you're lurking in before the ship turns towards the source of this firebolt flare. And as if in a chorus, a matching set of massive lanterns kind of light up on a second airship much further east of you. They emit a series of flashes towards each other as they blink out, then back on, then back off again, like kind of like this Morse code-y kind of messaging. The airship on the move above you kind of returns a signal back, and then it continues its response route to the signal that was launched from the ground.
So this fiery light, it wasn't like an explosion or anything. It's like a signal flare of some kind.
Yeah, it was literally like, you've seen Falzarin cast fire. It was literally just like a firebolt, like launched up into the air.
Okay. Wow. With the present things that are going on, I'm going to probably assume that since we escaped down in the tunnels, they know we're going into Drakal. The remaining Paladin guards have somehow notified that we're in town, and now they're pulling in more people to try to find us. So I'm going to make haste as fast as I can, sort of making sure I'm staying clear of any paladins, a little bit more cautious, but as fast as I can to get to safety of Kepler's. And keeping an eye on the airships the best I can. See where they seem to be navigating to.
Yeah. So once the kind of signals are emitted to each other, the responding ship moving towards Lag's district, its big oversized lanterns, like these searchlight kind of things, is functioning as remain on. You see that the second ship, which again is like far east of you, which would be closer to like that eastern gate of the city, kind of actually in the direction of like magic, like past the Tickley Servant, further that way, right? Its lanterns kind of extinguish, and just in the darkness, just how high up they are, you just lose sight of it. It's gone in the night.
Of the ships that I've seen, would I be able to recognize which one that Grimby Chum would be piloting or captaining? Would I notice which ship that would be?
Yeah, like viewing them in clear daylight. Yeah, you would see like Rising 4 plastered across the helm, but in the darkness and by the light kind of concentrated and directed, it's really difficult to tell which one is which. You just know that like clearly these lanterns have been mounted to the airships. Okay.
No, I'm gonna stay on target.
As you have front door of Kepler's in sight, you see that the like lanterns are kind of burning low in the windows inside. As you're about to approach it, you hear again Shakara messaging you in your head.
Shaft, I am in the sewers. Horik, we were found. Horik guided me to a manhole and stayed above, fighting some paladins. I don't know. I don't know.
So, Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try to, as long as there's nobody out front of Kepley's that it would be obvious that I was going inside, I'm gonna go to the front door. If it looks like it's still pretty crowded and it's pretty dangerous to do that, I'll see if I can go in around the back, and if I know if there is some kind of a back entrance so I could knock, kind of thing.
Yeah, there certainly is a back entrance if that's how you would prefer to enter the building. But out in the street, like, it's abandoned. Like, it's like 11 o'clock at night kind of thing. Like, it's an hour from midnight, so the streets are empty. And again, like, lights, general lanterns on the street starting to burn pretty low. Could use a swap in the candles. And lights originating from the shop also, like, very, very dim. So it looks like it's pretty deserted out front.
Yeah, I'll just run across, hiding sort of in the shadows as I go until I get up to the front, and then, knock on the door. Since it's late at night, I'm going to knock softly at first and sort of listen at the door to see if I hear Kepley coming or someone coming.
The door kind of creaks open like a couple inches, and Kepley has answered. Oh,
Kepley!
I'm sorry. We're sorry, sir. We're closed for the evening.
Oh, it's me, Shaft. Let me in.
No. I'm sorry. We're closed.
Yeah, I get it. Let me in.
He closes the door on you.
And I know this is Kepley?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, by the voice. Okay, so I'm thinking in my head, he's giving me a signal here. Obviously, there's some paladins or something inside. They have made some kind of connection. So I'm going to try to sneak around the back. And are there any... I assume, Kepley has this vault of such somewhere deep inside of this residence. But he also lives there, correct? That is his residence. So are there any windows or anything I can sort of get a peek in to sort of see if there's anything going on?
Think of like the first story as a storefront, and then his living quarters would be second story. Now, when you were here and you gave the Nina Soul bag to him, like, he took you like to the back, right? Which you walked through a bank of essentially vaults and like lock boxes to more like his office and like a personal safe that he has in which he put Nina. And there certainly is an entrance in that office. There'd be a window there that you could potentially peek in. Yeah.
Okay. And, if necessary, I'll see how I can get up onto the second floor to look in, too. But let's start at the first floor.
Okay.
And see where we can go from there.
So you kind of circle around, and you get to this back door. Why don't you give me another stealth here as you do so?
Is my pass without a trace at this point gone?
It is expired now, yeah.
Okay, 16.
So you get to this small window. It's not very large, right? It is barred as well, as it looks like the first floor is like fairly secure. The entrance doors to stuff are like big metal doors, right, with latches on the inside that you've seen. But you can look into this window, and the office itself is dark, so you can see past it with your dark vision goggles. The door to it is open into the kind of lockbox area, and you catch two people, one heavily armored, the other looks like they're more of a cashier kind of in robes, moving towards the front of the store. As they're moving away from you, like, you hear them, one of them kind of cries out, who was at the door? And then they kind of get to a distance, like meeting Kepley at the front, which you can not really see from the vantage point you're at, but the conversation then becomes muffled as they move further away from you.
Okay, to the second floor. Is there any type of... I mean, is this building sort of like a city building with, I don't want to say fire escape, but some kind of way that I could maybe climb up the stonework or something to that effect to be able to get up to a second story window?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. It is brickwork, and it looks like there's, especially with like being halfling size, the grout in between is the thickness of it is, you get your fingers kind of wedged in there, and I don't know if you have any other gear there, like a grappling hook or something that might help you. I don't know.
I'm looking right now. I have some rope, but I don't have a grappling hook. I'll do my best with what I have. If I have some kind of a way to to make a little lasso type loop and shoot it up onto something, maybe something sticking out from the side of the building to give me some extra leverage, I'll try that. If not, I'll try to get onto the corner of the building and do my best to scale as best I can.
All right, give me like an attack roll or like a dexterity roll, just with your straight dex and proficiency to kind of throw this rope.
All right, that'll be 15.
Okay, yeah, it snags on kind of the outcropping of the windowsill above you, the story above you, and give me an athletics with advantage to climb the rope.
13.
That's fine. I mean, you got to climb like 15 feet, right? Maybe to get up to the window, and you are able to open this window. So why don't you give me a stealth now as you're pulling yourself into this open window you've cracked.
Okay, 17.
It seems you kind of pull yourself up over the sill and land like whisper silent on the inside, and it does look like you are in Kepley's like a bedroom.
I'm going to try to sneak down to where, like, at the top of the stairwell. And did this staircase go down about where they were talking? Does it lead down into that area, or is it in a different part of the building?
It's kind of a spiral, like metal spiral staircase that it looks like, judging by where you are, if the bedroom is over the office, this entry point to the second story would come down into like the lockbox room.
I'm going to try to creep down to get a sort of an eye on where everybody is, if I can.
All right, give me another stealth.
12.
Okay. You kind of step on the top like metal step of the stairs, and it just kind of like creaks and groans, like the shifting of metal and bolts of where the actual step is attached to the spiral of the iron going down, and you kind of like freeze for a second. And from here, you can clearly pick up the conversation. It doesn't seem like your 12 interrupted it, but you just
Okay.
hear Kepley going, I've told you, I don't know who this fellow is you're looking for, but never met them in my life. You're wasting your time here. The same paladin you can kind of recognize as who had queried about who was at the door says, we've got the intel. We know you're associated with Shaft. You need to tell us anything you have and can about where they are. We just want to speak to them. I'm sorry. I can't help you. I've been busy running my shop. I don't have many friends at all. I tell you.
I think what I'm going to do at this point is sort of put my hand up and roll my sleeve up a little bit, look down at my tattoo of the badger that I've had blazoned on my arm for a while. And I used the other tattoo before, and I can't recall. Do I have any kind of control over what the tattoo does, or is it just bring this creature into existence?
Yeah, you can direct it, and essentially, like it becomes like an animal companion, a temporary animal companion kind of thing.
Okay, I'm going to summon forth the badger and at the top of the stair and say, go down, get their attention, and come back up the steps. And then I'm going to put myself into a darker area, into a room off to the side, so if something comes up the steps, I will have the advantage to be able to do something, an attack of some kind.
Okay, you can absolutely take refuge in like the dark bedroom, because I mean the whole second story is not illuminated at all. As you were able to, you see the paladins kind of moving before you walked into the building. They actually are both humans.
Okay.
The ink, where was this one? Where is this tattoo?
Well, it's on one. I think it's probably on my left arm. I think I have the other one on the right.
So it kind of, you see the ink just like slide down your flesh, right? And I don't know if that's the same forearm. Maybe you have the shackles attached to you, but it kind of like slides and disappears under the shackles before it literally like drips from your fingertips, pooling onto the step below it you're on, and an inked version, like with the crows, your other tattoo that you use at the tower, and Bitey. It's like a two-dimensional outline of these animals, right? It looks like they wouldn't have any substance to them. Like you could put your hand right through them, or if they turn to the side, you would completely lose sight of them, right? It's like this two-dimensional inking that comes to life. And it snarls and it bolts down the stairs and clear, like, utters of surprise from everybody, including Kepley. And you can scamper and take refuge in the bedroom. And the badger kind of runs down. You hear it kind of like, I don't know, how does a badger bark? They don't bark, but however a badger sounds.
My badger goes.
Okay. And essentially it like gets to the bottom of the stairs, grabs their attention, and comes right back up the stairs as you instructed. And you can hear the footfalls of the paladins following it.
Paladins or paladin?
It sounds like both of them are coming. I mean, you've certainly drawn their attention. So let's roll initiative.
That didn't work out as well as I wanted. 22 for me.
So you are first. The paladins are like at the base. You can hear the steps of the metal, like as if someone has just stepped onto the steps at the base of this stairs. Not quite in sight of you yet, as they had to climb up the spiral, right?
So my plan will be to sort of stay out of sight as they come up the steps and sort of see if one of them, it would be optimum if they separate, but if not, whichever one is behind, as soon as they get past me, I'm going to attack. Would I get a surprise attack on that? Or are they aware that they're looking for something beyond this two-dimensional badger?
Well, we'll let the badger move, act on your turn as well. So you can if you want to have the badger move away from the bedroom, like further into like the living room and the kitchen kind of area at what would be at the front of the shop, you can absolutely do that to continue to draw them. So you would end up behind them. You can absolutely do that.
Okay, so what I'll do is, since I'm first, is I'm going to wait until they get up near me. I'll have the badger sort of run past me, and then as soon as they get, if they see the badger going at it, I'll have the badger attack the first guy. So the badger makes 2 attacks, one with bite and one with claws. I like it.
Okay, so they're essentially, though, the paladins are like just climbing the stairs, so they're not quite on the level to be attacked by the badger yet. But I don't see why not. Like, the badger can ready an action to attack if a paladin gets adjacent to him, right?
I assume, yeah.
And then would you like to do the same thing? Like, ready an action if the badger attacks kind of thing? Like,
well, no, because that would be a reaction. I'd only get 1 attack and then I'd be seen. So I think I'm going to hide until, just sort of stay out of sight until Barry 2 actually takes a hit. I'll Hunter's Mark the second one if I can. And now visually, do I point at this? Let's see what it says. You choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry.
okay, so the paladin you can see about to climb the stairs is the armored guy. He clearly looks like a fighter of some kind. And then below him, like the one dressed in robes, which looks more like a caster, currently not in your view.
Well, then I'll mark the guy in armor. I mean, might as well take that bonus action. Action economy, right?
Actually, the caster is next. Who kind of remains down there and essentially like, what are you seeing? What's going on up there? What is this thing? And you see actually, or you hear it. He kind of turns. Kepley, stay back, stay down here. And then he's not going to climb past his buddy there, but they are next. And they come up, immediately turn to their left, right, with you to their right hidden, badger to their left. And it's, the bad Barry 2 is like snarling and waiting for it. And he just pulls his weapon and will approach it and try to attack it. So Barry can definitely pop off his reaction there.
So let's see, it's a reaction, so he only gets 1 of his 2 attacks, I assume, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so let's go with a claw. He has a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
9 slashing damage.
All right, good. I mean, the paladin wasn't quite ready for it as Barry kind of launches out before the paladin can even take a swing, but it will proceed to multi-attack the badger. with a critical fail for the first swing, caught off guard by Barry. Caught off guard by Barry. He tries to hack at this like 2-dimensional made 3D thing, and just it sails wide, right, and kind of bites into like a banister, and his weapon gets stuck, and he has to spend the rest of his attacks actually to pull it out of the wood due to his critical fail.
Nice,
and
Barry.
you do see like he's drawn like a scimitar is what he's wielding, and you can hear at the bottom of the order is Kepley. Kepley's like down there. He's like, what's going on up there? What is happening? To the top with you.
With the caster, the caster is now at the top of the stairs?
Halfway.
Halfway. From the point in which he's standing, if I was to be able to go to the far side of this hallway that we're in, essentially, what I think he would visually be able to see me?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to run 5, 10, 15, 20 feet over behind the paladin fighter that is attacking Barry Adu and attack.
All right, I will give you advantage on your first attack as he was completely unaware of your presence.
Okay, so that would be a 24 to hit with the scimitar. That's 19 damage. That's 12 slashing and 7 Colossus. Now, I did mark him also, right? So let's get the extra D6 on there then. That's another 5 points on top of that. So 24 points of damage. Second attack, I'm going to do with my short sword of oozes. I assume only advantage in the first attack. So that is a 30 to hit, and it looks like got some crit damage on this thing.
Uh-oh.
37 plus, I guess I still get my, haven't done Hunter's Mark in a while. So I'm going to go ahead, I think I get Hunter's Mark on every attack. So that's another 6, so that's 37, 43 points of damage. And then I'm only going to attack twice because I'm going to use Nature's Veil to make myself invisible till the start of my next turn. And move over 5 feet with my last bit of movement. Just in case he just swipes in that area.
Sure. Well done. I mean, your first strike completely catching him unaware, and as he kind of turns to face you, your second acidic slices across like the chest of his armor and like staggers him. It almost brings him to a knee. Still like barely standing.
Barry gets his attack then, right?
Barry does get to take a turn, yeah.
He gets 2 attacks, so he's going to bite first. That is a 22 to hit with 5 piercing damage. And then Barry's going to sort of try to, it bites into his arm and starts trying to swing him around a little bit and takes his claw right across his belly. That's only a 7 to hit this time.
Okay, that one is a miss. And you hear this paladin, he cries, "Ah!" And he calls to his companion, "He's here, it's Shaft!" And then it is his turn. So he'll turns to Barry, kind of again having lost sight of you. His first attack will be against Barry. That's a 15 to hit.
He has a 10 armor class.
So he takes 7 slashing. Seeing if Barry's not down, he's going to continue on Barry.
Yep, he's still going.
That one's a 12. Okay, good thing Barry's got a crappy Z. 8 more slashing.
Okay, that takes him out.
And then you see like the ink just kind of falls into a pool and just like almost like it evaporates, and Barry is done. This paladin kind of whirls on the spot where he last saw you, and with his final attack will swing at the spot. I mean, he swings with disadvantage, but you're not there anyway, so there's no way he could hit you. But he kind of, like you had predicted, lashes out. The caster now at the top of the stairs. Well, where is he? And he comes up just in time to see his friend like slashing at nothing. I mean, he can't do much without being able to see you, but he's going to use his bonus action to put a kind of a displacement on him. And you see like it's like a double kind of overlapping him and like flickering to his left or right as if like a second copy of him, obscuring like where exactly he is and which one you would need to hit. Kepley, having heard their cries, "Oh, my boy, don't let the roped one get his flare off." And you kind of hear like a jangling of keys from downstairs, like metal clanking together. And back to the top with you.
I really wanted to just take this fighter out to get the numbers evened up here. But I must heed Kepley's advice. So I'm going to move around to the opposite side of the caster, sort of at the top of the stairwell. He's about 5 foot into the hall, and I'm going to sort of sneak in behind him, so giving the staircase to my back in case I need to leave. I pop back in, and, well, I guess I pop back in at the beginning of my turn. And I'm going to attack him with my scimitar. 21 to hit.
So because of his little displacement thing, all of your attacks have disadvantage against him.
Okay. That's still a 21 to hit.
That's it's still a hit then.
Not quite as much damage this time. It's 17 points of damage. Is that something that could break his concentration? I don't know if that's a concentration spell or not.
Yeah, it seems like you kind of navigating this kind of illusory duplicate he's made just completely gets rid of it.
Perfect. All right, second attack. That's an 18 to hit.
Yeah.
24 points of damage. How's he looking?
They both look really bad. I mean, the fighter is in far worse shape than the caster seems to be in. But I mean, it's clear like this robed figure is like a caster for a reason, right? He's like a
I'm gonna play it smart and use Nature's Veil yet again. I can do it 4 times per day, and that was 2, so I'm use my bonus action to become invisible yet again.
You kind of hear from at the bottom of the stairs again more like rustling and shifting and like metal clinking together, and then this evoker is going to kind of round on the last spot that he saw you, which means this will have disadvantage. Kind of just lets out, pulls up his palm right to let out like this burst of arcane magic.
Yeah, should have moved. And maybe not standing at the top of the staircase was the best idea.
Well, the first one's only a 9 though with disadvantage. You can make a second one. That one is a little better. It's an 18.
That is a magic attack, not a melee attack, right?
It is a spell attack, correct?
A spell attack, so I wouldn't be able to use any kind of defense. So no, that's a hit.
All right, you take 16 psychic damage, and he can feel and like see that he's made contact with somewhere. So he calls. He's right in front of me, and then the fighter approaches from the side of you. There's still, I can't. Yours doesn't dispel, right? You're invisibly persistent regardless of what happens, right?
It is a trait, yeah.
So still disadvantage on his scimitar attacks. He will take all 3 of them. 14.
Miss.
16.
I will use Defensive Duelist, which will raise my AC for 1 attack by 4, so that gets me a 20.
Last attack is a 17.
And that'll hit.
6 slashing. And behind you now, you can see like below the stairs, and you see that Kepley gets to the top of them, and you see he's like pocketing this huge like ring of keys, and in his other hand he has this, it's a wand, and it's like a twist of materials. It's like the spiral that comes to this point. Clearly like one material is made of wood, the other looks like it's this like green like glass. It almost kind of shimmers as it catches the low torchlight on the first story, and he's kind of like approaching up the steps, and he will point at the caster at the top of the stairs, and this green bolt of energy kind of lances out, and the caster is reduced to ash as he disintegrates him with this wand.
Nice.
Back to the top with you.
All right, I'm just gonna reappear right next to this paladin fighter. I see the caster reduced to ash. I look down and smile at Kepley, and then I turn back and sort of give a little smile and a wink to the paladin fighter as I attack with the scimitar. A slight grin. That's a 22 to hit. That's 18 plus I still have him marked, so let's go with another 2. That's 20 points of damage.
That is way more than you needed to vanquish this last paladin. And like as you pop into you become visible, Kepley's like almost like taken back. Oh my boy! Oh, brandishing the wand. Oh, I could have hit you.
I was going to mention that.
It's a good thing you are a halfling, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so yeah, I'll sort of wipe my my scimitar off on the paladin, sort of resheath my my sword, and walk down the steps towards Kepley. Did they hurt you? Are you okay?
Oh, my boy, no, I'm fine. Again, he's like, looks at the wine, he's like, oh, my patron's not going to be happy about me using one of their items. You see, he kind of like fishes his keys out again and like fiddles around and finds the one for the right lockbox, and he stows this wand again, locking it back up. I have desperate times.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. Are there any others around?
No. Just the two of them. Today, at least. My boy, what's happened with it? Why are they out for you now?
Well, it's a long story, Kepley. It's a sort of a misunderstanding, right? We sort of took something that was really sort of ours, just wasn't ours yet. So, I mean, they sort of want it back, which is one of the reasons I'm here. I need your help. I need a box, a small lead box about yay big. I sort of hold my hands out, and just something that can contain something that's magical.
Oh, I mean, certainly, I'll be able to help you with that. But look, I have news, though. I have news, my boy. I'm sorry to tell you, I've confirmed that Nina was on the casualty list from the illness in Victor. It was tough to get my man down there, but he saw the list himself. In fact, I believe he says he knows you. A lovely young fellow named Roland Wright, I believe his name is.
Yeah, Roland's a reputable guy. I mean, but, you know, just because she's on a list, that doesn't mean she's actually unable to be revived. That sack I gave you, did you find out anything about how that worked?
Unfortunately not. But I would tell you the one odd thing that Roland discovered. He found the list, not a problem with his connections, but he could not find her body. There's no record of a burial or cremation like the rest of the casualties. She seems to have just vanished. I was hoping to recover her to pay her respects.
I sort of think I know where her body's at. Isabella Good, she's sort of the one we sort of told you about that's sort of running. She's over in Heraklion right now. Sort of got her own thing going, I should say. And she told me she has Nina's body. I'm coming back here to get her soul sack or whatever the essence is that she's in. She's in there, I know it. And if I could just get the two things put back together, we might be able to do something and bring her back.
Well, my boy, then I'm sorry I could not recover her body before Isabella Good got her clutches on her. But listen, the lead, I can help you with that. And you kind of see, he kind of leads you back to the office, right? And in one corner, in addition to his desk in here, right, and his personal safe, there's kind of like this little workbench tucked into the other corner, like kind of the opposite of his like desk, his business desk. Looks like there's like sheets of this metal. He kind of points towards them. Well, you see, my lockboxes. What kind of fool would store intricate and valuable items without putting them behind some type of protection, you know? I cater each box to fit my clients, as large or as small as they may need to be. I'm sure I could whip you up something relatively quickly.
Yeah, anything you can make as fast as possible. We don't know when more paladins are gonna, pop in if they haven't heard from their buddies.
Well, that is the thing, my boy. I believe we're burnt here now. At least I am. But I think I have a solution with that. Things have been moving very quickly around here since we last spoke. I mean, it's a wonder you made it back into the city without being discovered. But I have worked on that exit plan we discussed. I've come to agreement with Lag.
Wonderful. What's the plan?
Well, it seems the Paladins have been harassing him as well as me in their efforts to find you. I have been unable to locate their information source. I told them nothing about knowing you. I'm sure Lag did not offer up that information himself. I don't know where they could have made this connection between us.
Well, a couple of my acquaintances are sort of indisposed at the moment with the Paladins, and I'm thinking they're either spilling the beans on their own accord, or they're being told, or they're not given any choices to give up this information. Regardless, I just have to assume they know everything.
Oh, my goodness, so you're no longer with your companions then?
Well, there's a few that are here in the city with me, but from what I just found out, I think they've been captured. So it's best, I need to get someplace to safety, and then we need to find out where they're being held. They have the items that I need to get Nina back. The item that I need to put in this lead box.
Then I'll get right to work. And he kind of starts to pull up these sheets of lead, right? And he kind of throws one in a vise and begins to hammer and bend it. As you imagine the two of you, you're like hands kind of together, and then further and further, about this big, this big. And he's kind of like roughly like forming these lead sheets into a rectangular structure.
Okay, while he's doing that, I'm going to do a couple things. I think I'm going to go, check the windows, make sure there's nothing amiss. I'm going to drag that body of the paladin fighter and sort of stick him over into is there like a closet in Kepley's room?
Yeah, sure.
And I'll say to Kepley, I assume we're both going together. You're not staying here, right?
Oh, no. Once we're done here, I'll go directly to Lags. You'll be coming with me to Lags? He says he can get us out of the city.
Yeah. I assume you're going back to Rockdale after this. I don't think you're going to be able to come back to Drakal until this is all passed over.
It's been some time since I visit our hometown, but yes, I agree. That's the safest place, I believe.
I'd feel better if I knew you were safe. So I'm going to put this body in your closet. It might stink the place up a bit if you're not back in a while.
Well, wait. Let me get my good jacket out of there. Okay, hold on a second.
Okay, anything else out of there? What's this? Is this a hat?
Oh, yeah, yes.
What kind of hat
It
is that?
goes with the jacket, yes. He pulls them both out.
Okay, and he's gonna pull his shoes out, and, his little shoe tree, and slide it aside. Push his body in there, and I sort of shut the door, and his legs in the way. I jam it back inside there, and get it shut.
Okay, and as you slam this closet shut, you yet again hear Shakara in your head.
Mia says they are about to attack, and the armor is weak. I fear we can no longer trust her. Find Horik. He knows.
I close my eyes, grit my teeth, sort of cringe a bit. I look up at Kepley. Well, Kepley, remember when I was little and you and Dad used to tell me my biggest problem was I just didn't trust people and always felt everybody was out to screw me? And I always kept my defenses up, and if I just gave in a little bit, I would see the better side of people. Well, that's crap. Still crap. I gotta go do something. First thing I'm gonna do is take out my eye of scrying. I want to find out if I can. I have one charge left on this eye, and I want to see if I can put the eye where Shakara is. I think I know her pretty well at this point, so try to get a view of what's happening to them. So that's going to take about 10 minutes to cast.
I'm going to ask Emily to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Emily needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, sorry. Shakara needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
So due to how close you are with Shakara, and you physically, with the Eerie token, you physically have a piece of her too, right? So that is going to give the max penalty to Shakara's wisdom save, which I believe is a minus 15, right?
Yes.
Emily has given me her wisdom saving throw. She's rolled a 28. Minus 15 makes it a 13. So what is your DC?
Okay. My spellcasting DC is 12.
Oh, no. Okay. Unfortunately, the spell fails.
Well, can I use my luck point? and make her roll again. I do have one left. Let's do that.
Okay, I will get Emily to roll again.
Luckily, I saved that last one after that last battle we had.
So essentially then, if she rolls lower than a 28, you have it, right?
Yeah, 27 would give it a 12, right? And it would go to... Would it go to me or to her? I can't remember how that
The
works.
tie will go to the saver. She gets a 25. Minus 15 is a 10. Okay. So, with your use of your luck, she has failed. Meaning, she is unaware, your scry is successful, and she is unaware of being observed. And you make this invisible sensor within 10 feet of her. Immediately when it blinks on, you're almost like, as you're peering into your orb, like almost kind of like shy away from immediately like the blue light that's you're witnessing. And as the sensor kind of rotates, you see that Shakara is by herself in the sewer. And she is, it looks like she's almost passed out. She's on her ass against the sewer wall. She's got her feet like over the little canal of shit and piss water. Like, she looks like she is exhausted. You also notice that now both of her hands are withered and completely black, they look like they're skeletal thin now. She is clearly like sitting there resting. The bag with the eye is 25 feet away from her, so she's outside of its influence now. Hork is not with her.
Do I see the lead box?
No, like, she has nothing in her hands. She's looks like she's just resting. Your bag of holding with the eye, and presumably the other eye with the box is off to, like, not with her. It's like off next to her.
Okay, so it's not like she was handling both of these things at one time or doing anything. It looks like the bag. My assumption is that the other one's still in the bag.
Yeah, like, again, it's not in sight. So whatever Shaft may presume of that.
The sensor moves with the target, remaining within 10 feet for the duration. So, within this 10 feet area, do I see anything else? Do I hear any? I guess I can see and hear. Do I hear anything?
Through the sensor, you hear like the trickle of the sewer water, Shakara's labored breathing. Other than that, it seems pretty silent down here.
Do I see the pathway we came out of when we came up through the sewers? Like, is my assumption she's right by the door in which we came up, or is she in the sewers just randomly someplace? I can't tell.
Yeah, from through the sensor, you do not see a ladder leading up to the surface down either way of the tunnel that she's currently in.
I'll move the sensor close. Does it look like she's still? I mean, can I tell if she's still alive or breathing?
Yeah, she's definitely breathing again, like kind of labored, as if she is like almost struggling to catch her breath. But it looks clear, like she's resting.
Well, at least I know she still has the eye, at least one of them in the bag. There's really not much else I could do with the eye, so I'm just gonna let the 10 minutes. Let's see, how long does it last? It lasts about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna let that 10 minutes pass as Kepley's still working on the box, and see if anything happens within that 10 minutes. If she gets up, moves, anything else comes in to the room. If not, just let it pass.
Near the end of that 10 minutes is actually kind of, you get almost like this feedback loop, hearing her through the scrying sensor and through your eerie token as she messages you again. Clearly she looks like she's recovered a little bit now, after this quick little rest that she's had. And she messages you.
Shaft, I am going to attempt to make it to the theater. If you can, meet me there. Hopefully with Hork.
And before the sensor kind of blips out, she takes off down this sewer tunnel, presumably towards the Arcanal Theater.
All right. So what I'm going to do then is I'm not sure how long this is going to take Kepley, but I'm going to assume as he's working on this, I'm going to take this time and attune back to the cube, getting rid of my Circlet of the Wise. Shaft earlier forgetting that the Tower Cube did regain its power at the beginning of the day because I thought it was shot. But noticed that, Shakara could be able to still manage to hold us with the cube. So if I have the time, I'm going to try to reattune to that. That takes an hour, right?
So if you want to take the hour, there's nothing stopping you currently from taking an extra hour to try to attune to the cube?
So before I do the attunement, I'll say, Kepley, how long? How long do you think it's going to take?
Right quick, my boy. Right quick. I'm just putting the lid on it.
Okay, then I won't attune. I'll leave the Circlet on, and I'll go down to him and say prepare. All right, that looks good. I'll watch him doing it. That's probably good enough. Yeah, put a little piece of lead. There's a crack right there. Just patch it up. You got something, some glue or something? It's just got to hold the thing in there.
Yeah, he grabs a piece of scrap, right, and kind of bends it around the whole. If you're folding a box back together, where two edges would meet, and there's kind of a gap there, right? He patches the metal over that, and you see he's got like a little rivet gun and starts riveting pieces of metal to the box shape. It is a piece of crap, but he's put it together as quickly as he can.
Okay, I'll keep looking out the windows and sort of turn the lights out except for the room in which he's working. Sort of turn out the candles or any lanterns that in the room, and just wait. As soon as he's ready, I'll say, grab whatever you need, and let's get out of here.
Wow, can you believe what just happened? Oh my gosh, things are just getting crazy. You can visit us at incorrigibleparty.com for additional world NPC information to get all your Incorrigible Party merchandise. Join us on our Discord, linked on our website. Recently, the Incorrigible Party has started streaming on Twitch. If you want to watch video games, board games, interact with us, catch us on live after-party recordings, follow us on Twitch at Incorrigible Party. If for some reason, probably because you're incorrigible, like us, you can't get enough of our content, please support us on Patreon. Our Patreon gives you early releases to episodes, extra inspiration to give your favorite hero, Mia, wink wink, or the DM, I suppose. Patreon exclusive content includes Patreon exclusive mini campaigns. This podcast is sponsored by Critical Hit Design at criticalhitdesign.com. Thanks to Tabletop Audio for allowing us to use any ambient sounds or music during our show. And our intro and outro is by Josh Jarvis. Contact him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com for any inquiries. Happy adventuring!
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.